When the machine can't steal your soul. How often have you asked yourself why you do what you do? Waking up, going to work, living a routine that often feels mechanical, and yet something inside you screams that there's a greater meaning. The danger is when we forget to listen to that voice, because in its silence the world starts deciding for us. And when the world decides, we just become another cog in the machine. Purpose isn't just a pretty word for self-help books. Purpose is invisible fuel. It's the breath that makes you get up when everyone expects you to fall. It's what transforms a job into a mission, a task into a work of art, a simple act into a legacy. Without it, even victory loses its flavor, and routine becomes a prison. The biggest mistake someone can make isn't failing. The biggest mistake is living without clarity on why they are doing what they do. It's like sailing a ship without a compass, hoping the waves will decide your destiny. If you don't discover your own purpose, you end up serving someone else's. And don't be fooled. It's not about grand achievements. True purpose hides in the details. It's in the hand that helps without being seen, in the word that comforts without expecting applause, in the silent effort of someone who chooses to give their best when no one is watching. The world calls that obligation. God calls it excellence. But there's a critical point. Purpose without awareness just turns into survival. When you act without understanding why you are acting, something inside you dies a little each day. And a heart that lives without direction is the perfect ground for mediocrity to grow. Today, the question echoing is simple, yet profound. Are you using the machine, or is the machine using you? Because the difference between those two answers is the difference between living and just existing. There once was a man named Samuel Keller. He wasn't famous, he wasn't rich, he had nothing that drew the world's attention. He worked in a large gear factory, one of those places where the sound of metal swallows even your thoughts. Day after day, the work was the same, tightening bolts, aligning parts, keeping the production line alive. However, something about Samuel made him different. While everyone else saw only an endless conveyor belt of steel and grease, he saw stories. Every piece that leaves here, he thought, carries the sweat of invisible hands. And if that's the case, let my sweat also carry love. It was simple, but it was purpose. One time, the factory decided to install a new machine. It was capable of automating almost the entire process. For many, this was the future. For Samuel, it was a warning. Because no matter how advanced it was, that machine could never feel. And what doesn't feel can't give life to what it does. Months later, an incident happened. A defect in the line caused Samuel to be sucked into the gears. Among iron teeth, he survived unscathed, as if the steel itself had bowed. When he emerged, covered in oil and with a pounding heart, he heard an engineer say, "He survived because he was already part of the machine." That phrase echoed in him for years. Part of the machine. But was that what he wanted to be? No. That day, Samuel decided something that would change everything. I might use the machine, but my soul will never belong to it. What I do is not for the production line. What I do is for the legacy that no one sees. This story isn't about industry or gears. It's about you. How many times have you felt like life wanted to turn you into just another part? How many times did you realize you needed to remember who you truly are before the world forgot for you? Excellence isn't about having more resources or receiving applause. Excellence is doing the best with what you have until God gives you more to do even better. It's a daily choice, a silent battle against the mediocrity that tries to disguise itself as comfort. There are teachers who enter a classroom just to lecture, but there are others who enter to change destinies. There are parents who raise children for the world, but there are parents who raise children for heaven. The difference isn't in the task, it's in the heart that sustains it. Samuel Keller understood this. For him, every bolt was an invisible signature, every part a piece of history. Not because someone was watching, but because he knew that what is done in secret, heaven witnesses in public. That is the secret of excellence. Working for something greater than yourself. Maybe today you look around and feel your effort is in vain. Maybe no one recognizes it. But let me tell you something. Everything done with purpose leaves marks that time cannot erase. The difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is not in talent, but in the intention that moves it. And yes, there will be days of exhaustion. There will be moments when the routine tries to swallow you whole. It's on those days that you need to remember, you are not just part of the gear. You are the soul that gives life to everything you touch. Whether in your job, your marriage, your faith, or the dream that seems distant, the question keeps echoing. Are you doing just what is necessary, or are you choosing to be excellent even when no one demands it from you? There is something more dangerous than failure, mediocrity that dresses up as comfort. It's when you start telling yourself, "This is fine, it's good enough." That is the moment the brilliance of purpose starts to fade, and without realizing it, you transform into the very thing you feared, just another gear turning aimlessly. Samuel realized this early on. After the accident, he began to observe everything with new eyes. He saw colleagues who had abandoned dreams, traded passion for routine, and heart for automation. And with every empty look, he said a silent prayer. May I never forget that what I do is greater than me. Mediocrity doesn't arrive all at once. It enters slowly, like a subtle shadow, until one day you wake up and no longer recognize who you've become. That's why excellence cannot be a destination you reach. Excellence is a horizon. You walk, and it moves away. You advance, and it remains there, calling you to never stop. The world tries to convince us that success is having more. But the truth is, the greatest success is never letting your soul get lost along the way. What you conquer externally has no value if inside you become empty. And perhaps this is the greatest challenge, to keep giving your best when no one is watching, when no one is applauding, when recognition doesn't come. Because the true test of character is not the illuminated stage, but the silent hallway, where only you and God know what is being done. So if today you feel like you are falling into the gear, remember, don't let the machine steal your soul. You were born for much more than just surviving. You were born to leave marks that echo into eternity. One day a child asked Samuel, "What do you do at the factory?" He smiled and answered, "I don't make parts. I build stories." That answer seemed simple, but it carried the entire meaning of his life. He understood that deep down, no one lives just for themselves. Every act of ours touches someone directly or indirectly. You might be thinking, but my job is simple. My life is nothing extraordinary. Let me tell you, greatness is not in visibility. It is in the heart with which you do things. A mother who prays for her child in silence transforms generations. A teacher who believes in a student changes destinies. A person who decides to do what's right, even without applause, writes pages that time cannot erase. That is how Samuel became an inspiration. Not because he was perfect, but because he never accepted being just another one. He understood that every small choice is a brick in a work that goes far beyond what the eyes can see. And that is what gives meaning to work, to life, to sacrifice. Perhaps today you are in a routine that seems colorless. Maybe the world doesn't see your effort. But know this, heaven sees. And everything done with purpose, sooner or later blooms. Don't let the rush of the world steal the depth of who you were born to be. The ordinary remains ordinary until someone decides to put love into it. It is love that transforms tasks into legacy, that turns routine into a masterpiece. And it is this love that the world needs most right now. Love that does not seek spotlights, but that lights up invisible lights. Remember, no one was born to be just a part. You were born to be the spark that gives life to the gear. And when you understand that, even the simplest act becomes eternal. Life will always place you before a choice. Be part of the machine, or be the soul that moves it. A daily choice, made in small gestures, in silent decisions, in the effort that no one sees. This is what separates those who just pass through the world from those who leave their mark on it. Samuel, old now, looked back and realized he had no trophies, no awards, no fame. But he had something no machine could manufacture, a life full of meaning. And that's what matters in the end. It's not about how many saw it, but how many were touched by what you did. Maybe today you're tired. Maybe you're questioning if it's worth continuing. Then listen to this. Every seed planted with purpose has a time to bloom. Today's invisible effort will be tomorrow's testimony. Don't stop. Don't negotiate your essence. Don't let the world's rush put out the fire that God put inside you. Mediocrity is noisy, but excellence is silent. It's like a flame that doesn't need shouting to illuminate. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to remember who you are and why you started. The rest time will take care of revealing. The world doesn't need more machines. The world needs hearts that beat strongly enough to transform steel into art, routine into purpose, and life into legacy. And that calling is for you. Today, facing your routine, facing your work, facing your dreams, there is a voice asking, are you just going to turn the gear, or are you going to be the soul that makes it live? If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you is waking up. It's not by chance. The world is full of people who survive, but empty of people who live with purpose. And you were called to be the difference. It doesn't matter where you are now. It doesn't matter the size of your task. What matters is the choice you make today, letting the world mold you into just another part, or deciding that every gesture of yours carries a piece of eternity. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Start with what you have, where you are, and do the best you can. Excellence isn't about arriving, it's about never stopping the journey. It's about living so that when people look at your life, they see that your work wasn't just work. It was love in motion. If this message touched your heart, share it. Let it be the spark that ignites other hearts. And remember, you are not part of the machine. You are the soul that makes everything live. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and join us on this journey of faith, purpose, and transformation. The world needs your light, and it starts now.